I've been working with Paris and Nigel and Chica on doing these musical connection events online, using music to help us feel a little bit better and connect with other people.
And doesn't it show what music and the strength of spirit can do for us, for all of us, for our well-being?
It's been so revitalising and energetic to see a lot of you connect with us and see you all moving with us and enjoying the music.
We've got some fantastic musicians and singers giving up their time for you.
And music can be helpful. People can get stuck, both in their emotions and in their bodies. We are looking to give beautiful, enlivening emotional journeys.
I love the idea of listening to music with your whole body, even our relationships or our bodies in relationship to other people.
This isn't wishy-washy new age stuff. It's got really good science behind it, and it works. And it has no side effects. I really enjoy these evenings and look forward to many more.
Good evening, everyone. Lovely for you to join us. Welcome to Wellbeing Live Connection Through Music. Today we're experiencing and sharing Thanksgiving with our compatriots across the pond. It's going to be a very special show. And our previous performer, Professor Mark Clark, has been working hard to bring together some excellent musicians, and I'm really looking forward to it. For those that don't know much about Thanksgiving, I thought I'd give you a bit of a history. So it's a holiday that's celebrated on the 4th Thursday, and it marks the beginning of the Christmas holiday season. With a brief history, it started in 1621, where a group of Europeans, who later became known as the Pilgrims, invited the local Native Americans to join them for a feast. The Pilgrims had trouble growing enough food to feed themselves. The Native Americans had taught the Pilgrims how to grow crops successfully, and to thank them, the Pilgrims invited them for a big feast, hence the big feast at Thanksgiving. It originated as a harvest festival, and the centrepiece of the Thanksgiving celebration remains as the Thanksgiving dinner. This time of year, a lot of people connect with each other, families get together and reflect on the positive things. And it's the positive things that make us happy, make us feel warm and connected to one another. And this is the essence of this show. To begin with, I'd like to share our poll. And whilst the poll's there, please enjoy some beautiful pictures from our performers. Great, thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Chica Robertson.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to see all of you from throughout the world, past performers as well. What a treat. It's an especially wonderful evening for me, having been raised with American Thanksgiving meals, to share with special family members and friends from both the old and the new worlds. Paris gave a lovely history of what Thanksgiving is all about. And as they shared their harvest feast together, we're going to share our musical feast together with such fantastic performers tonight. So our first performer is Alistair Sutherland, a real favorite on this program. Alistair graduated from the Royal Academy of Music with his master's. He sings with Opera Holland Park. He's a real rising star in London. And I wonder if Alistair has got in from work. He was going to rush back. Is he back to introduce his first number, I wonder? Fantastic.
Yeah,
Alistair, we'd love to. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And would you like to introduce your first number? And a question for you, Alistair. If we feel like singing along with you, if we put the words in the chat, is that possible?
Chica, I was going to say, if you want to sing along, please do. And thank you very much, Chica. That's a wonderful idea. Right. So the first number, which I'm not going to do it live, it's pre-recorded because I wasn't sure if I was going to be back on time, is Simple Gifts. Now, my unshakable association with this, if you'll excuse the pun, is as a rowdy school hymn. I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I lead you all wherever we will be. But it originates as a really beautiful, very simple song, a shaker song, and it's about finding simplicity in life, turning away from the troubles of the modern world and finding beauty in simplicity, in nature, and in our relationship with God. So does the first song.
'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When to simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be a delight, till by turning we come round right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Are we now? You'll forgive me if I'm not totally up to speed on the order. Are we going straight on to "Come, Ye Thankful People, Come"? Yes. Okay. Wonderful. So we got another hymn. It's a rousing melody. So as with a lot of hymns, you've got a freestanding melody. This one's called "Windsor" by George Elvey, and then the poet Alfred wrote a harvest hymn, and it's a song about just giving thanks for getting to the end of the year, and really thank you nature, thank you God, we have food on the table, and how lucky are we to be with our friends and have a joyous feast. So the hymn is "Come Ye Thankful People Come," and I think the words are also going to be in the chat. So if you want to sing a rousing number, now's your chance. Come ye thankful people, come.
Come, ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home, all be safely gathered in, ere the winter storms begin. God our Maker doth provide for our wants to be supplied. Come, O God's own temple, come, raise the song of harvest home. Oh, the world is God's own field, fruit unto his praise to yield, wheat and tares together sown, unto joy or sorrow grown. First the blade and then the ear, then the full corn shall appear. Grant, O harvest Lord, that we wholesome grain and pure may be. Then thou church triumphant come, raise the song of harvest home, all be safely gathered in, free from sorrow, free from sin, therefore ever purified, in God's garner to abide. Come, 10,000 angels, come, raise the glorious harvest home.
Thank you very much indeed, everyone. Thank you. Good. I hope everyone wasn't shy and were singing along, because I think that's the aim in these hymns, just to feel together, even though we're obviously apart. But thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me back onto this this wonderful evening, Chico and Paris and everyone. It's really much appreciated. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed those harvest songs.
We thoroughly enjoyed them, Ellie. Thank you so much for coming back and singing for us. It's always a treat. You always have such charm, and you explain things so well. And we can see why you are a rising star. We're very proud as well you are such a wonderful model for our young artist musical ambassadors of the Music Mind Spirit Trust. And this just shows what we can do with music, because I know how much you're enjoying your sessions, and Professor Clark is enjoying the sessions with you, as He is your mentor. He is our first international mentor professionally for the Music, Mind, Spirit Trust. And he's our advisor. We're very, very grateful because Professor Clark is professor of music and theater at the University of Louisiana in Monroe, where he started, he founded, and he directs the Louisiana Opera. Does a fantastic job there. And he's terribly busy. He's an international presenter and director, especially in the US and in Europe. So we are very, very grateful, Professor Clark. And we'd like you to introduce in the artists that you very kindly got for us tonight on our American side of the world. But first, I'd like to just explain how you started your very illustrious career. I think you were in high school singing with the Chicago Symphony, and later sang solos with the Hollywood Bowl, with the Walt Wagner Chorale, and even with the Carpenters. You were head of opera at Indiana University and have published some fantastic books as an expert on singing, movement, and singing, acting, and movement. I mean, we're just so honored to have you. Welcome to our show. And if you'd like to introduce your two lovely artists in, both Rachel and Allan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robertson, for that grateful introduction. I'm very grateful for the introduction. Thank you so much. It is wonderful to be here, and I welcome all of you to our Thanksgiving celebration over here. Can you hear me? Good. All right, just wanted to be sure. So first of all, I would like to introduce, actually, once again, she's been on the program before in July. Rachel Graham, she's a former student of mine at the University of Louisiana, and she has sung many roles in opera, operetta, musical theater, and I've directed her in quite a number of shows. She studied drama, she has an opera degree, she sings in cafes, she does it all, she does everything, and just great to welcome her here. She put together, I actually requested two songs, which one is For the Beauty of the Earth, which is a well-known hymn we sing during Thanksgiving time. And the other is an original song, Thanksgiving song by Mary Chapin Carpenter. And we were thinking a medley, and she actually mashed them together. So it's quite amazing what she did. And so I'd like to introduce her, Rachel, to come onto the program and introduce her introduction to the songs. Rachel.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. It's a great honor to be back on this program. I have loved everything that I see on here, and I love getting to be a part of it and being asked to be a part of it again. It's been a wonderful past couple of years. I'm really thankful for all the opportunities that have brought me here. Graduating with my degree and getting to perform in all those roles and to learn so much from Dr. Clark. It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure. Really excited to introduce this medley that I came up with. Again, thank you all so much for having this on. It's Thanksgiving here, and family's about to come in, everyone's coming in, and this is the perfect way to start that off. So again, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Rachel Graham, over here stateside in Monroe, Louisiana, and this is Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. It is the time of year, the week that my family all gets to get together, and you know, this year over Zoom and whatnot, but even in spirit, just have an uninterrupted moment just to reflect and be grateful for what we're blessed with, each other, opportunities, just this whole year, friends and family. I have put together this medley, For the Beauty of the Earth, Thanksgiving song. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Rachel, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. And we're very grateful that in your rural location that you were able to get through to personally wish us a happy Thanksgiving as well. A great treat for us. And we return now to Professor Mark Clark to introduce our next artist in. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Dr. Robertson. Now I have the great pleasure of introducing a friend of mine, tremendous friend of mine, since we were apprentices together a couple of years ago. I've had the pleasure and honor of directing him a couple of times, most recently at the Louisiana Opera in our own area here. He's sung the role of Canio and Pagliacci with us, as well as Cavaradossi in Tosca. And he is a Metropolitan Opera artist, as you know, and he has sung in major opera houses in France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Israel, and so many other places. If I were to list all of the places he has sung, it would take all afternoon or evening for you. So I just wanted to introduce him to you. I think the first, we're going to hear a little bit of a appetizer here with Allan singing in the opening or the beginning, Act 1 of Otello by Giuseppe Verdi. And the first opera I ever saw was in a lyric opera in Chicago when I was a very young teenager, and I saw John Vickers singing Otello. That was my first opera, with Tito Gobi singing Iago. But when this man opens his voice in this particular excerpt, you'll know why I say how special he is. And I think that he's like I said, a great friend, great colleague, tremendous teacher. He teaches at Roosevelt University in Chicago, and he has done master classes all over the world. And I teach with him in Oregon every summer, as well as going to be teaching with him in Italy this summer. So it's pleasure for me to introduce my good friend, Allan Glassman.
Thank you. It's great to be here with my good friend, Mark. We've only known each other just been a couple of years.
A few years, yeah.
Yeah.
So also, could you tell us a little bit about, you were saying yesterday that this excerpt from Otello was a performance, was actually a performance in which I believe in a short week you had 5 performances because the other Otello was not well.
Yeah, so I ended up singing 5 performances of Otello in 1 week, and we did 2 weekends. We did 2 in 1 weekend and 3 in a row the next weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday matinee. Yeah, and I think the video is from the matinee. So I was a little tired.
Oh my gosh.
Not okay. Yeah, that was a tough week. That was a very tough week. But.
Yeah, but the force of your voice is quite amazing, and we can see in this excerpt. So, Paris, could you please play the Otello excerpt to introduce Mr. Glassman? Allan,
Yes.
can I please share something about you with the friends in our audience?
Please. I have nothing to hide. I'm an open
Okay.
book.
What I wanted to share was that Allan actually started as a baritone, and his first debut at the Metropolitan Opera was actually as a baritone. And he was an established baritone, became very established at the Metropolitan Opera, singing many, many roles. And I think it is just incredibly remarkable that at one point, your teacher was changing you into a tenor. And as you became a tenor, you went to James Levine and you basically asked to be allowed to sing tenor roles. And he wanted you to sing an audition on the Metropolitan Opera stage for him. So
Well,
Allan,
actually,
yeah,
just to be accurate, sorry, is
please
that
be accurate.
I was supposed to do an audition. I had told the person who handled the young artist there, and his name was Larry Stair. And Larry, I told him what I was doing. He said, "That's great. Why don't we set up a time? You come sing for me." So we set up a time.
Right.
I got there, and he said, "Allan, don't be mad at me. I told Jimmy, and he's coming to your."
Showed up. Yeah.
And meanwhile, I have never sung for anybody as a tenor. No,
Wow.
I mean, nobody.
And how many arias did you sing for Levine?
I sang 5 arias for him.
Tenor arias.
He sat there the whole time doing this and shaking his head every time, especially when I sang high notes. And he just said, I had no reaction from him. I thought I saw my career go.
Yeah, your career was going like that too.
But I felt pretty good. And I finished the last aria, and he said, "Allan, come sit with me. I came here to tell you were out of your mind. But you have changed my mind, and we are going to do everything we can to help you be a tenor." And they did. They put me in the young artist program. I was a little old to be in the young artist because I was 31 when I changed to tenor. And they supported me all these years, many, many years. Over 30 years I sang it.
Yeah, so actually we're about to hear an excerpt of you. It's really my favorite type of excerpt to hear you sing, which is basically you in front of the piano, just with the piano, and making music with that incredible stentorian voice. We're going to hear an excerpt, I believe, from Act 3 of La Fanciulla del West by Puccini. And this is Dick Johnson singing He's About to Be Hanged, if I'm correct. And Minnie is going to end up being the heroine of the show and saving you. But this is one of the famous Puccini arias that Allan will sing for you now from Act 3 of La Fanciulla del West by Puccini.
Dormi
I don't think after singing like that, anyone would hang you, Allan.
They might.
No, I just wanted to say one thing, about you. Not only is it a great voice, I mean, it's a world-class voice, obviously, but the humanity in which you sing with, it's just the feeling, the expression, the genuine quality of just direct and honest and just so beautiful in every aspect. It's just such a pleasure not only to hear, but to feel. It's just a great expression of music, drama, putting it all together. And so thank you really for those gifts. And
it's what I'm trying to give back right now to my students.
thank
Trying to help them, and not only as a teacher, as a mentor, as someone to help them to realize it's not just about singing. You
absolutely.
You have to feel what you're singing.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Well, I have seen you teach on many occasions, and they are extremely fortunate. And just the pure longevity of your career speaks for itself as far as the way you sing, the healthy technique that you display and you're able to convey to your students. So they're very, very fortunate to study with you.
Thank you. Now, you're putting a little pressure on me, though. But
I know. It's called the build-up. It's called the build-up. So we thought we would give everyone a special treat. I think Allan would like to give that gift to all of you. And so he's going to stand and sing a song for you from his heart to share with you. And Allan, we thank you so much for this gift. It's very...
You're welcome. Are we ready? I guess we're ready. This is a song called I Believe. I believe. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard. I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, and I know I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, and I know why. I believe.
Yeah! Bravo, Allan.
Bravo!
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 Beautiful. Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo.
Thank you, my
To all the
friend.
performers tonight, this is the first time we've allowed applause on because of all the problems that Zoom can have, but we're all friends here, and it was such a privilege to have you
Nice.
live singing like that, Ellen. I have to admit that after our sound check yesterday, I woke up this morning to the sound of your powerful voice with that song, and it just melted my heart and my mind, as it has to all of us tonight. So thank you very much to all four of our performers, to Alistair, to Rachel, to you, Ellen, and to Mark Ross Clark for helping us and doing such lovely introductions to everybody as well. I want to thank all of you throughout the world who are joining us tonight as well for making music so we can all believe in its power, because we've shown through that and through this program how helpful it is during all these weeks throughout the pandemic. And I want to thank this brilliant team I work with here to make it possible. Dr. Angela Kennedy, Dr. Paris Patel, Professor Nigel Osborne. And Nigel, I am so curious to hear about the X System journey that we've been on tonight, physiologically and emotionally. Can you tell us all about a little bit about X System? We have some newcomers tonight.
I certainly shall. And I wonder whether, first of all, I ought to invite people to fill in the second part of the questionnaire, and then I can make a little explanation. Does that sound good? Thank you. So we'd like to invite people to finish the second part of the questionnaire. And the reason we're doing this now is we discovered in previous events that my talking and introducing X System, in fact, in some ways confounded the natural responses of people. So we don't want to get in the way of what people really think and feel. So if you could be patient with us for a moment or two, those that are prepared to fill in this second part of the questionnaire, then we'll just carry on. Thank you. Just a minute or two. Thank you, Paris. Thank you. So, what a great evening. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Great, thank you. Thank you so much. So, what a wonderful evening. What a special evening. Really amazing. And what a privilege. You know, I had the good fortune as a composer, as a musician, to be around in the opera world here and there from time to time. And to be in this company this evening must be one of the nicest places I've been as a musician who enjoys opera. So what is X System? Well, it's a system that I designed with Chica's husband, with Paul Robertson. And the reason we did it was to find a way of predicting how music could have an effect on people. And you can say, well, we can do that anyway, because a good music therapist, a sensitive musician, can tell you and can predict what effect a piece of music is going to have on somebody. But we needed something more detailed because a change was coming, which is very important. We're in the middle of a big change for music. Music will get itself now, in the future, much more involved with our health and well-being. And in order to do so, it has to remain what it is. We have to have opera houses and orchestras and everything that we have, but we need more. And the more will be music playing a role in people's health and well-being. There's a little revolution happening. In order for that to happen, we need details. And so X System gives us figures. You know, we can predict exactly what's going to happen, and we're usually pretty accurate, and we can measure whether we've been right or not afterwards. So it does this job, really, we hope, helping with the change, and also doing something that we would take millions of music therapists to predict the world's repertoire. And we can do it all with this little machine in a few seconds. So it saves us from that too. And it doesn't put music therapists out of business, because we can't do what music therapists do. They are intermediaries, mediators, human beings affecting people directly. We're just a machine that predicts effects so that we can use music. So here we are. This is a prediction for this evening. If Paris could kindly put it up. Here we come. Now, we represent it in what we call little emotional circles. The bottom of the circle is low arousal, the autonomic nervous system on low arousal. The top is on high arousal. Left is the more negative kinds of emotions, and right, the more positive ones. But in fact, values tend to be quite clustered in the middle in music, interestingly enough. So we start off with simple gifts with Alistair's solo, fairly high arousal. autonomic arousal and the positive side of our feelings. And that's logical. It's a bright song, and it's a dance, the Lord of the Dance as well. And I thought, though, that Alistair interpreted it in a way that put it between, a song and a dance. Now, that was lovely, beautiful interpretation. Coming down to the more hymn-like Harvest Home, a slightly lower level of arousal for that, still on the positive side. Then a big change for Rachel. And Rachel, this is a compliment we're about to give you. To be able to take us right down there is a big compliment, because where you're taking us is to relaxation, being at peace with ourselves. And I thought that medley was brilliant. I thought the way that you put together those two tunes was just fabulous, as if, I don't want to hear it any other way now than that. That's absolutely beautiful. And also the way that with your voice, as a trained opera singer, and I've heard how you can produce volume and richness and depth in your voice, you decided humbly and beautifully to give us the softness of your voice and the low register in a very unprojected way, suitable for a small space and for intimacy. And so those are the things that brought us down to this place. It took us to. And interestingly, it's nudging to the left. That's not negative. What it's saying is, it's probably a place for thanksgiving, literally, as an emotion. Because when we quietly give thanks, we're not saying, wow, thank you so very much. No, we're saying, thank you. And that's what that little dot says. It's saying that place in our emotions, thank you, in a thoughtful, reflective way. So very beautiful. And then we shoot right up for Otello. And what I should say is this little dot is created by the whole of the sequences. So it includes whoever sang Desdemona. Because actually, if you look at Allan's voice traces during this piece, it goes sky high, as you'd expect. Sky high in brilliance and intensity. That's brought down by the context, and obviously very, very nice. I don't know who was playing Desdemona, very nice, but that's pulled it down somewhat, just so that you should know that Allan on his own was in the stratosphere at that point, as you'd expect. It's where he belongs. And then coming down, of course, from even his own heights to for La Fanciulla. Why? Because this is full-voiced, but this is Puccini. This amazing magic of creating this beautiful tune, this pouring melody when a man's about to die, because, of course, reflecting on the beauty of life and so on and so forth. And obviously, that's probably what brings us down a little bit further from the high autonomic levels, because we're invited in this music and in the way that Allan interprets it to enjoy a kind of lyricism in spite of everything. Interestingly enough, if I have my history right, the first person to sing Dick Johnson was Caruso. So quite a step in a worthy tradition of the great Caruso. By the way, who recorded more songs than the Beatles or any pop star ever did. Caruso recorded 247 tracks between 1902 and 1920 on the phonograph. He was the first rock star on the phonograph. So rather beautiful. And then coming down again, obviously for I Believe, for the way that there, Allan gave us this more intimate world, but still with beautiful, wonderful resonance. I was looking at the spectrograms, my God. That's what richness of voice means. And I think also it solves a puzzle, because it seems to me very relevant, if Allan doesn't mind my commenting, a humble musician, is that I hear the richness that's added, the added richness of the former baritone in this, and I'm wondering what the hell excites me so much about this voice, and that's probably what it is, and you can see it in the analysis that we've done. I won't bore you with all that. It's loads of figures and graphs and things. I just do the simple stuff. Anyway, what a wonderful evening. Thank you very much to everybody for this wonderful set of performances. Great, great privilege. Thank you very, very much.
What a privilege indeed. Thank you so much. And yet again, your gift to us is absolutely received with such gratitude. I think we've talked a lot about gratitude and given thanks on this program. It's been a tough year, but given that the story of the how Thanksgiving originated probably changed over the years to become almost mythological, maybe in 200 years from now, this COVID experience will also have a similar tale. And maybe it will go something like, there was this deadly disease that hit worldwide that took out some of our most vulnerable. But through that period where people lost connection, where they lost their jobs, where they lost their safety nets, they found new ways of connecting and learned what was really important. They valued their clean air. They valued the time that they did get to spend with each other. It was less about materialism and more about coming together to share that gift of presence, and maybe also learning the huge value of culture and the arts in helping to shape our humanity as well as express our humanity. And wouldn't it be great if this small little artistic resistance against the worst of what COVID has thrown at us could grow into something, a movement that truly values culture and creativity as the best expression of our humanness and the best way that we can connect to other people. So I'm definitely grateful. Again, grateful for these evenings, grateful for my team, grateful for the fantastically gifted artists that, yes, absolutely, bring us this just wonderful, wonderful joy every week. And that's it from me. Thank you.